Mental Health Meets Hip Hop and Dub Sauce Radio presents Not Gonna Crash Out Volume 1. I mean, in Chicago, I have people saying all the time they crashing out, they're about to crash out and all this. What is crashing out to you? What does that mean?
Crashing out to me is just like you not being yourself on a regular day, you know. It's like you going through trials and tribulations, you know what I'm saying?
Crashing out to me really is not being able to process your emotions in the right way.
Crashing out, I feel like that's when a person, they just reach their limit. And it's like everything they know they ain't supposed to be doing, they just doing it. Like, it don't matter what it is, whether it's running your car into something or running your fist into somebody.
I ain't gonna say I got a perspective on it or nothing, because I'm still working on it myself and healing. All I can say is be obedient to the higher power.
So be cool. Dub Sauce Radio, right? It's Mental Health Meets Hip Hop and Dub Sauce Radio presents Not Gonna Crash Out Volume 1. Just give the people a little history on our connection.
Alright, so listen, like it's just like great minds just come together. It's like the universe, you know what I'm saying? Just come together. So I met Miss Tati, you know what I'm saying, at an event, and we locked in. She's like, man, I got this mental health meets hip hop. I say, damn, hip hop and mental health, you know what I'm saying? For those who do not know what I do for a living, I am an engagement specialist, you know what I'm saying? I gotta go out and I have to talk people off from doing some crazy things off real life experience. That's my job, you know what I'm saying? I love helping people. And we is. So when she said, oh man, you Dub Sauce Radio, you know what I'm saying, let's lock in. We came together and that's what it was.
Facts. And I don't know if you want to hit on this, but you know, the mental health part. Can you talk about some of the stuff you have done in the mental health space, like in Chicago and on the outside, as far as like with facilities and stuff?
Yeah,
like your
man.
connection with mental health?
Like I did a lot of things, you know what I'm saying, coming from the south side, you know what I'm saying. I was in the street, you know, crashing out, you know what I'm saying. But I had to grow and I had to learn to take my real life experience to be able to channel it in with other people, you know what I'm saying, and connect with other people. I did a little bit of everything, you know, and then I felt like music, radio, and being able to put my voice out there, you know what I'm saying, and I felt like Tupac and me and her got this analogy, like, you know, we could change the world or do something. We just doing our part to be able to leave a stamp on the world, you know what I'm saying?
Facts. Tupac say, you know, if you can't be the one to change the world, at least you're gonna spark the man to change the world.
Yeah, we
you
can
know,
spark it.
Like the rose that grew from the concrete, and we always touch bases on that.
Sure.
So Dub Sauce Radio, I know you got a lot of artists coming through there. You had me on there. Just being in that space of radio and having that outlet for artists to get on there, play their music, come in there, you do interviews and things like that. How have you seen that as being like a coping mechanism for the artists, especially for the artists on the mixtape?
Well, I felt like, you know, your story got to be told. However you want to put it down, you could just write, you could make poetry, you could paint it, you know what I'm saying, you could see it. And I felt like one thing in common about every last one of the artists that was selected to be on this mixtape was they all had a story, of course, to tell, you know, and it's like matching up the other stories. Like we have fighting depression, we have anxiety, we have City Cry, you know, we have a lot of different songs on there, and all of them was getting straight to the point about exactly what's going on with them and around them, and that's key.
Right. So peace and love, brother. I appreciate you. This partnership is here now. It's going to be here for a long time. Salute you to creating a space where our people can tell their stories, because a lot of times, you know, people don't have these outlets, you know, social media there, online there, but sometimes the stories can get saturated and drowned out. So I salute you for having that space on radio where they can tell their stories, you know, because there's a lot of radio stations that, you know how it go when they go to the radio. You gotta know this person, that person, and it's like, you know, you pretty much cool, you know, since we met. you know, it's been nothing but love. So peace and love, appreciate it, and looking forward to do many great things from this mixtape.
And we definitely about to spark the world, make the change, do our part.
We already sparked it. We here.
Dub Sauce Radio.
Peace and love, peace and love.
Peace and love, peace and love.
So this the magic behind the flow, the actual mixtape, like getting all the songs together, make it run smooth, you know, doing your thing behind it. I just want to tap in with you, like, how was you feeling once you was doing all the music? Because I know a lot of the songs are heavy with like mental health and, you know, people touching on grief, people touching on anxiety, people touching on a lot of stuff. So how did you feel when you was engineering?
When I was presented the idea, it was cool. Like, it was a cool project. I haven't been doing music in a while, so it was like one of them things where it was like, all right, let me get back in my groove, you know. And since I'm like, I go by, you know, Say Less, it was cool to do like the almost you seen like Transformers, the Bumblebee. Like, it's basically telling a story in other people's like messages. So I tried to do that with like the depression, and it's like a roller coaster I tried to do almost, like, you know, going up and down with the emotions. Because the song that's talking about breaking through, and this other one's just talking about staying in, and it's like a mixture of both. So, you know, that roller coaster. You know.
Right. So with some of those songs you said, like, kind of people staying in, right? A lot of people, you know, we teach a curriculum about chakras, about energy centers in the body, right? And not being trapped in those spaces of trauma when you go through trauma. Like, we always try to encourage people, like, it's a way to get out your trauma, but you have to tap in and be able to want the help.
For sure.
And, you know, when Mental Health Beats Hip Hop, you know, the therapists that's with us, they, you know, we don't force people to therapy. We say, if you want it, then we'll present it to you. So what would be your advice to those individuals that went through something and kind of want to just stay there?
I mean, what I would say really is to just put that work in. Anything you do, just, if you're in a funk, go around some of your friends. Like, that energy do rub off on you. So, you know, you got some of those situations. If you can find some friend who knows some type of art, it don't matter if you painting, it don't matter if you're doing music, just find somebody who's like creative, because you're gonna find your gateway.
Say less. You hit it all on the point, you know? So peace and love. Thank you so much, brother. We appreciate you. Mental Health Beats Hip Hop and Dub Sauce Radio. Not gonna crash out Volume 1.
Hey.
Say less.
I can't wait. I can't wait for y'all to hear this, man.
How you doing, Ms. Zaya Janae?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm fine.
That's great.
So Mental Health Meets Hip Hop and Dub Sauce Radio presents Not Gonna Crash Out Volume 1. You got a banger on that mixtape. You got a banger.
Thank you.
So I want to talk about with your raw and authentic lyrics on your song. Can you introduce your song?
So my song is called A City Sky. Do you want me to go into depth about it?
Yeah, you go.
Okay. So what really inspired this song was, I think, the previous summer. Before the summer even hit, before I even got out of school, it's just all over the news, a lot of killings going on, especially among young people, the young community going to parties, and it just going the wrong way. So that's what inspired this. I kind of wanted to start the conversation, and not only to put, you know, our people down, but to also lift us up, and just saying that we need to bring more peace within our communities.
And I like how you said with the young people, right? Because this crash out is a culture. I mean, in Chicago, I hear people saying all the time, they crashing out, they're about to crash out and all this. What is crashing out to you? What does that mean?
Crashing out to me really is not being able to process your emotions in the right way. Like, we all have emotions, but it's about that logical choice, that thing that tells you, should I do this or should I not do this? You know, a lot of us struggle with like the temporary things, like, okay, this makes me feel good in the moment, but is this choice gonna get me somewhere in the future that I don't wanna be? And a lot of us are just struggling with managing our emotions and putting it in the right places, transferring our energy in the right places.
So how has music helped you with putting your emotions in the right place?
I would say music helped me express my emotions. Like me, I was a real reserved child, just really scared of what other people, you know, thought of me. I went through a period of that, so music made me also kind of like find my identity and find comfortability in my own skin and being myself. And then also now allowing me to be vulnerable with others and help pick them up and give them inspiration, you know, as I'm learning throughout my journey. So.
Facts, facts, facts. Okay, so on January 25th, you know, Mental Health Meets Hip Hop, Dub Sauce Radio, Harold Washington Cultural Center, and iRock Education put on an event at the Harold Washington Cultural Center, and you was a part of that event. I just want to touch bases with you, like, how did you feel about that, being able to express yourself in that environment in the city of Chicago? Just tell me about that, your experience at that event.
Right. I always say, like, anytime anybody ever asks me, a lot of people ask me about the Mental Health Meets Hip Hop, and it was just so dope. Like, especially not only the performances, but the panels. It felt like things that I grew up on, or I had conversations with my parents talking about mental health in our communities, on how we're not, you know, the right resources aren't being put into our communities. You know what I mean? So it was just really dope. But then the performances to back it up were great. I mean, Big Mouth Bo, Golden Child was there. And so many other greats. If I didn't mention you, Child, it's in my head, not my heart, but it was just really dope.
How you doing? How you doing?
So what was your inspiration behind your song on the mixtape?
My song Time, the inspiration behind it was my little brother and my cousin. They both lost their lives to gun violence in Chicago. You know what I'm saying? So that inspired me the most, and they love to do music. And that's what inspired my song the most, and that's what keep me going with doing music. My cousin and my little brother, so yeah.
So in the mental health space, we call it a coping mechanism.
Yeah.
So music is the way you cope.
Yeah.
How do you think your music, because Time is just so inspirational, and you know, I felt your pain in the song, brother. I just want to know how you holding up mentally.
I'm holding up pretty good, you know. I'm holding up real good. You know what I'm saying? Like recently, last year, I just lost another big part to the family, you know what I'm saying? And today, actually, it's his birthday, you know, so happy birthday to my cousin, D Nice, you know what I'm saying? So, it's like music keep me together. That's what gets me through the day. That's what gets me through hard times, you know. I love doing it.
So what does it mean to you to be a part of this project?
What it means to me, it's a big deal for me because I've never been a part of a project like this. You know what I'm saying? And it's inspiring me to do more music, to constantly keep going, nonstop, just keep my foot on the engine, you know. So it's a big part of my life right now to be on this mixtape.
So we definitely appreciate you, brother.
I appreciate y'all for having me.
We all about having these coping skills and these techniques and helping get through grief.
Thank you.
So
I appreciate y'all for having me.
Say your name of your song again.
Icon Duke, and the title of my song is Time. Check it out on the Not Crashing Out mixtape. Thank you.
Blessings.
Peace and love.
Peace, blessings.
Peace and love. So your song Nightmares, it's on the mixtape Not Gonna Crash Out Volume 1.
Yeah.
I mean, that song, you was talking about a lot in that song.
Mm-hmm.
You was talking about the city, your outlook on the city. So Nightmares, so tell me about that.
The song came about when I was in a federal institution, and hear about my cousin to gun violence, and my best friend to gun violence, and you know, I couldn't retaliate, I couldn't do nothing. All I can do was dwell and sit on it and heal and try to get better. And you know, that song actually came to me through a dream. I woke up, you know, singing that song. You know? So I feel like it's divine, you know.
So let's talk about that for a minute. You said it was about your cousin, and you couldn't retaliate. So here in Chicago, a lot of people got that, you know, get back type energy, that, you know, something happened, I'm not gonna let it slide type, you know, crash out type. So I wanna know from your perspective and, you know, not retaliating, how did you find that peace to not get that get back?
Well, I'm still finding that peace because, you know, like, I was recently shot myself. So, you know, what I got from that was You know, it's still a higher power that you gotta obey, you know. It ain't about what everybody else out here got going on and what they say and what they thinking. You know, it's a greater reward, you know. A lot of people don't get that, you know, because, you know, it's a hard thing to get. You gotta really work for it inside, you know what I'm saying? So.
And I like what you said, you gotta connect within yourself. Because I tell people a lot of time, the way out is within. So that's why, you know, with mental health, we talk about meditation a lot. You know, connecting with yourself and that divinity that's within you. So I like how you said that. That's some powerful stuff right there, brother. That's very powerful.
Sometimes you can't hold on to that stuff. You gotta let it go for yourself. Not for them, but for you, you know?
And music was the way
so you don't crash out.
Facts, facts. So if you can change one thing about the city of Chicago or the culture of Chicago, your community in specific, what side of town you from?
I'm from the South Side.
The South Side. You can change one thing about the South Side, what would it be?
I put real more leaders and real love, like real leaders, true leaders that really want to lead their people, and not just for the money. You know, that's what I'd change.
Hello.
How you doing, Miss Aubrey? Peace and love.
Yeah, how are you? I'm good.
So, Not Gonna Crash Out, Volume 1, Mental Health Meets Hip Hop and Dub Sauce Radio. You have a song called Anxiety. What was your inspiration behind that?
My inspiration behind it was I was literally laying in bed, just sad. It was like at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I didn't know, I didn't have any way to make myself feel better besides write a song. So then I found a beat and then wrote to it, just how I felt.
So anxiety is a big topic amongst a lot of people here in Chicago, right? Because some of our communities, I'm just gonna say, like me, I'm from the West Side, right? I'm from the Austin area. And in my community, growing up, it was a lot of gunshots, people, hanging around, people getting killed. My first memory ever, what I tell people, is my father getting shot outside my house. He lived, but coming from some of these communities, we become anxious, or, we develop anxiety. And a lot of times, things in the city trigger us. And I think from what you said, as far as, being anxious that night and getting up and, writing your song, can you tell me how Chicago, within its whole, or just your community or where you come from, maybe, had things triggered anxiety or trigger that anxiousness, or just being a melanated woman in the world? Can you come from that angle? How do you feel about that?
How do I feel about anxiety? Well, based on how I wrote it, it's basically because all my friends was in college, and you just, how was I when I wrote it, 18, 19? So you got a lot of people, so you just getting out of high school, and you're just coming out, you just trying to figure out where you want to go, and you got everybody telling you what they think you should do. And that was it gets overwhelming, and then you get overstimulated. I got overstimulated, and I just took a year off.
Yeah, a lot of times you have people everywhere. You got commercials, marketing tell you, go this way, go that way, what we should look like as melanated women, what we should put in our hair, what type of makeup, all this stuff.
Oh yeah,
going on.
all the time, especially on TikTok.
Especially TikTok.
TikTok got you.
IG, Facebook, all that. So if you had two ways to help somebody cope with their anxiety, just being young. I like how you said you was coming out of high school and people kind of was just telling you follow this path, follow that path. What advice would you give somebody coming out of high school, going into that stage of getting into college?
Man, figure out what you want to do, what you actually want to do, and then pursue it. Just go full force and don't second think about it. Just go for it. Because the more you listen to everybody else around you, the more you're gonna stop and maybe I shouldn't do this. Maybe I should have did this. Nah, you gotta go with your first mind, basically.
Facts. I always say the only way out is to tap within.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you gotta go within. So peace and love, beautiful. We thank you for being a part of this mixtape, Mental Health Meets Hip Hop and Dub Sauce Radio. Not gonna crash out Value One. Thank you.
Thank you.
What's up, gang?
Katie Picasso, what's good, gang? How you feeling?
Blessed.
Blessed and highly favored, right?
Yeah.
I know that's right. Katie Picasso. So Picasso is an artist.
Yeah.
And you definitely been doing your thing for a while with the artistry. So Animal, Not Gonna Crash Out, Volume 1. Animal on that mixtape.
Type, you know.
And I'm gonna tell you this, I'm a fan of every artist that's on that mixtape. Animal is one of my favorites.
I thank you. I
No,
appreciate that.
I love that
for real.
song. Born
real,
in
I
it,
appreciate
died in
that.
it. That's the way it go.
Live by the gun, die by the gun. That's the way it goes.
So crash out culture real quick.
Yeah.
What's crashing out to you?
Crashing out. I feel like that's when a person they just reach their limit, and it's like everything they know they ain't supposed to be doing, they just doing it. Like it don't matter what it is, whether it's running your car into something or running your fist into somebody, or like just, you know what I'm saying? I feel like I got anxiety or something. Like, let me sit still.
Yeah,
A lot of
right
noise.
now?
Yeah, I'm an introvert, so I would be like closed in a lot. So
So you know what, with anxiety, I tell people all the time, take a deep breath.
yeah.
Just breathe in
Yeah.
your nose, out your mouth, and just, release.
Anxiety, stop.
Yeah. So back in the day, we used to call that jumping out the window, right?
Yeah.
Crashing out, we would say, hey, they just jumped out the window. So speaking about back in the day, I remember, many moons ago, on the south side,
Yeah.
we're not gonna say no names, but, it was a couple of people that was all about community, where they used to let the community come in their basement and
Yeah.
kind of perform and stuff like that.
Like shows in the basement. Yeah.
Shows and stuff like that. So how important was like just having an outlet of music or people in your community being in that kind of environment? How did that kind of help you with your anxiety or not crashing out?
It motivates. Like at the age that I was, like so one of the ladies that was doing them shows was actually my godmother. She's actually my godmother. So just seeing her like believe in certain people, it made me believe in certain people. A lot of the people that raised me in the community of just making music, period, they was real supportive. Like if they seen you doing it, they'll do anything. Like my grandmother, she'll purchase stages just to put them on the block outside, just so you can perform and do what you know what I'm saying, whatever your talent was. So I feel like it just give a person that extra push they need and just to be in front of a crowd. A lot of people don't even get an opportunity to perform, you know what I'm saying? So just being there doing that, it just make you want to do it more, in my opinion, you know what I'm saying? For me.
So what was the inspiration behind Animal?
Animal, it came from a lot of, when I made that, I had just got free as an artist, to do to just be creative. And just watching outside of what people thought how they supposed to be, or just situations I've been through, of course, but it's really deeper than even my situations, you know what I'm saying? It's just the point of like telling people like this is the way you live is the way you go, you know what I'm saying? In most cases.
Right,
So-
right.
And then I was taught too, if you in the streets for real, you don't have to speak on it. A lot of times you wasn't even supposed to tell your right hand or your best friend, or you know what I'm saying? Once it's done, shut up. A lot of this stuff is glorified, or they feel like I have to do this to be cool. Like I had an artist a few years ago that I recorded, and he came in the studio like just crazy tattoos all over his face and stuff. And I asked him about it, and he was like, yeah, that's what they want you to do. They want you to touch your face and woo woo. I'm like, nah, bro, you know what I'm saying? So it's just the point of how people feel like they gotta carry themselves to do what they need to do. But that's what the generation we in there, So
So you say the artist came in and pretty much saying he pretty much following the crowd, because that's what people want.
It's not following. It's like you can't be mad at it though. You get what I'm saying? Because you get in the car, what they talking about on the radio. It ain't even got to be a song on. No matter where you at, it's a person that don't know no better or don't have a father or a mother, or it's like that they in the streets. They want to be with the cool. So if it seems cool, you know what I'm saying?
So what would be your advice to a young guy like that? He trying to get in the industry. You know, it's nothing but crash out culture. It's nothing but, you know, shoot 'em up, bang, bang. And he feel like that's the way he got to go to be accepted. So what would be your advice to him to kind of not jump out the window or crash out and go that route?
My advice is experience life before you want to experience death. And when I say that, I mean, it's a lot out here, but they only know so much. They only do what they know. So my advice to y'all is to get to know yourself and get to know what you love. So then when you do that, you can experience life, and just, cause it's a lot, it's a lot to life, you know what I'm saying? But what we know when we go outside is what our dead homies, we scared to go to gas stations or go places by ourselves, whether it's dates. That's because it's what we know, you know what I'm saying? So just experience life and just, that's all I got.
Right, and that's powerful. That's powerful. So another question, and you can answer it. I don't know if you want to answer it or not,
I'm
but
cool, you know.
a person that feel like maybe they don't have a way to experience life, they feel like the hood is all they know. Like they don't want to leave off the hood or anything like that. You know, it's older people that I talk to all the time in my family. I'm like, well, let's go here. They say, well, this all I know. I don't want to go out of town. I want to stay in K-Town. I want to stay over here.
I feel like the
What's your
best thing to
advice?
do is, it's hard, because I've been that dude like 15, 16 out here. Everybody like, do this and do that. And no matter how I wanted it to work that way, it was making it not work that way. You get what I'm saying? Because just believe, like people stubborn, you see how I'm shaking, anxiety, like I told you I'm an introvert. That's because just the dealing with the pressure around you. So you gotta think, you can talk to somebody about doing better or doing this, and then you leave and they still gotta deal with what you was just, so how do you expect them to deal with that? And you know what I'm saying? There's no way for it to work. I mean, I'm not saying there's no way, but man, it seems impossible. It seems impossible. You just gotta pray for your neighborhood, and you just gotta do what you can do. Like, and that comes with, if you see somebody, if you gotta go pick them up and you wondering like, man, I don't know why I'm going to pick this girl up or this boy up, but something's putting it on my heart to go make sure take them to go eat and talk to them. Or, you know, people wanna, I don't wanna say no names, but everybody that does something, everybody that does help, they wanna broadcast the help. I just went here, I just fed them, I just did this. Don't nobody, if I owe you $20, don't tell nobody I owe you $20. You get what I'm saying? It's the same way. If you just help me, don't tell nobody I just helped you. Now I don't want your help no more. It's the same way. Everybody that's helping or feel like they doing something for the community, once you pull that camera out, I can curse? You fucking it up. Now that help, now people looking crazy. They gonna still take the help, but they gonna look at you like it's not genuine. Help me behind closed doors.
Facts.
Help me behind closed doors, and when I get to that point, I'm gonna let people know they helped me get my shit together. That's how you help people, in my opinion. But
Facts. Okay, so Katie Picasso, what's next for the Picasso? What's next with your artistry?
I got a label, Musical Genius Recordings. So my goal is to bring to Chicago what we didn't have when we was really in that hunger, whether that's platforms to perform, whether that's school developments, programs, whatever. But for the most part, I just want to provide that opportunity for people who never touched the stage, like how my grandma and everybody did. Like, so, like I got an event March 7th, and a lot of those artists never performed before. So I songwrite, structure, do all that, but So I made it like, if you did any development with me, you got the opportunity till you're qualified to perform at least a song or something. You know what I'm saying? But other people, when they want to go superstar mode, it's a fee, you know what I'm saying? But other than that, I'm just developing and dropping my music, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, that's beautiful work. So Mental Health Meets Hip Hop and Dub Sauce Radio presents Not Gonna Crash Out, Volume 1. KD Picasso on it, Animal.
Yeah.
Y'all check it out. Peace and love.
Love.
Cross my heart, would you ever take me back? Nah, I've been living life on a fucking harmful path. No more.
I was praying for strength, trying to get through the day. See, I try to be strong, strength in me holding on.